Okay, part two. Maybe there'll be a part three. Who knows? Anyway, gosh, I know it's Christmas, but I mean, it's December, it's wintertime, but it is so hot. It's like summertime here. Feel like I gotta put my hair up. It's so hot. I'm in the sunroom, so I guess it's supposed to be hot, but it doesn't feel like Christmas. It's so hot today. Anyway, back to my story. Yeah, so I quit and um like where do I want to start? Like so everybody was asking me, well, my two friends and my spiritual advisor were like, and what do you think this is? And myself trying to find like, okay, what lesson, what thing are you healing from your past, your childhood? How does this connect to your mother and father? And I'm like, man, there is like I couldn't find anything personal per se in there, except for, okay, personal with the spiritual ego. But I couldn't link it. None of this is important, by the way, but I just want to say it. I couldn't link it to some mother, father, childhood event or some trauma, pain, wound, personal wound that this all was connected to. Um, ugh, my mind, I can't think today. Um, it just wasn't there. And um, what I can, here's what I know. Here's what I discovered after the whole event and whatever. Um, that this lesson was part of me healing my fractal line. And I've known for a long, 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 long time, like many of you have, that you're here to heal, like you're the end of the line, so to speak. And I have felt that. And and particularly in the gene keys, if you have gene key 44 in your evolution sphere, you are really here as like the end of the line to heal the fractal. And that's what this was. And it was, and I could tell that it was because number one, I couldn't feel, there was no emotionality, no emotional attachment and poor me kind of thing ever throughout this whole journey. It was just like, yes, some emotions came out, some anger and frustration, but there was never, you know what I mean? That kind of like, oh, poor me. Oh, this just reminds me of my childhood and being and crying about. No, this was all a very detached experience that I couldn't find anything personal inside about it. And so, and every time I thought about quitting, I could feel, I know I'm all over the place and not making sense. I could feel like when I would check in and go, okay, I've got to quit, like I could feel this was connected to collective ancestral, like human ancestral programming. Yeah, that needed to be ripped out. That's how I was experiencing it. And every time I would think about quitting, the terror felt like cosmic terror, like I can't even describe it. It was, and yet while I was feeling that terror, I was like, where is this coming from? This doesn't feel like me. But I will tell you the two themes, and when I say it's directly related to my soul contract, and the soul contract I'm talking about is the one where it's based on your birth name, birth certificate name. And that's really, it's like the beginning of your conditioning in this life, but it's the last thing that you get to because it's all ancestral. Okay. And it, or collective healing. So I am, yes, definitely at that point in my journey where it's more collective healing, right? Because the personal story has been gone and dead for a long time. And I don't say that with arrogance. I say it with knowing that it's possible and this is what happens. You start healing collective wounds and those collective parental, you know, what your mother and father give you in in regards to the soul contract, it would be your physical karma and your spiritual karma, and that's the father and the mother. And the two karmic conditions that or numbers I was working with are the karmic 4 and the karmic 9. And these two are big, huge human collective programming things. And it's, the karmic 9 is about shit, doing stuff you don't want to do, people pleasing, um, not not reaching your full potential, not just as an achieving human, but spiritually, being so out of alignment with your true self, not having any physical, like totally drained, from disconnected from yourself and from spirit. Yeah, that's really it, and it's physically exhaustion. And then the karmic 4s are all about fear of money. I mean, the thought of, oh my God, I won't have any money. And I'm like, what is the matter with me? This hasn't been a theme. Where is this coming from? This terror of not trusting the universe and making money and having a job and supporting and earning my keep on this planet. They were just themes. So you could see these are two huge collective human themes, which which I think are probably coming up for everybody now, because like now's the time to choose yourself. Choose you, do what you want. Do what you want, because otherwise we're not going to break free of this collective whatever prison planet thing we're on. Anyway, so that's that's the big chunk of conditioning that has fallen away. At least it feels like it has for now. I'm sure it might come back. Anyway, and I will say, um, what what happened the week before last week that I quit? I could feel something was coming, because what happened the week before is suddenly I was drawn to a television show, and this has happened before, about a year or two ago, where I start watching a show that's out of the ordinary, but I go, oh, okay, I'm going to watch this, and it's about somebody dying. And so it happened before, and it happened again. I was watching the show about somebody dying. She's dying of cancer, blah, blah, blah. It's called The Big C, that series. Oh, hated it and loved it. Um, but I started thinking about my own death once again. And I last time this happened, I'm totally fine with dying, that I'm no worries there. I'm kind of excited. But this is what happened. So here I was, I'm consciously letting go, consciously telling the universe I'm ready to let this big chunk go. It's time for this ego part of me to die. And then the week before, I'm like watching the show, and then suddenly it just whoosh, whoosh over me. And I just feel like this excitement, like, yes, if I die now, death, like I'm excited. The joy of death was so present. I don't know how to explain it, but I was excited to die and ready. And I looked around, I was like, yes, I have all these beautiful animals, but they aren't holding an attachment for me anymore, which was one step further than it had been in the past, where I was like, I gotta, the animals. But this time there was even letting go of that. And I even went into work and I said, you know what, MJ, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I mean, I don't want to. It's not like I'm ready, like I'm gonna myself, but I am ready to die. I'm happy to die. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing. And so that was the beginning. And I was like, oh, this is happening again. There's a big chunk that's gonna be released. Anyway, getting to that day of the confirmation, I could feel something in my subtle body was starting to bubble. You know how you could just feel like, oh, something's coming, something's going to shift, something's going to shift. And the night before the confrontation, I could not sleep. I was like tossing and turning, more than usual, right? And I got up and I had to go to work, and I go in and I go, MJ, something's going to explode today. Something's going to happen. So it's like, you know, your system knows when it's ready to let go of something. You start getting edgy and blah blah blah, and it just exploded. And what's happened after that, the letting go and the relaxing, now I'm relaxing. Um, some more of me gone. Karen, which is part of my birth name, has been gone and dead for a long time. Sounds terrible. As far as storylines, there's like nothing here. But I've taken on this name, Kat, and when I went to go check in, kind of after the whole, oh, I'm excited to die energy, because I think that's when the actual cutting loose of that big chunk happened, because it was the excitement, and then it just had to manifest in the physical world. Um, happened, and I went. I don't know why. I went to check in. I was like, Karen, Kat, what's that? They don't. There's no meaning anymore. I go to check in, and there's no meaning. There's nothing. I don't know what those two names, what those words mean. Okay, I know that sounds stupid, but and what else happened after that? After I quit, a couple days, yeah, right after I quit, I had a dream, and my mother, or a mother figure, came into my dream, and I have never dreamt of my parents ever, ever. I don't dream about any of those, no family, never. So it was quite shocking. But this person, who I will say was my mother, came in, and it was like a very quick, we just sat down on chairs, looked at each other, and there was a conversation like a business meeting. And it was like, I was telling her about, oh, okay, I finally just quit. God just told me. And she was like, good, your job is done. Good, move on. And that's what it was like. And to me, it was telling me, you you healed that part of the fractal. Good, move on. Your job is done. You've done the right thing. And so to me, that put this whole job thing, not choosing myself, not following what I really want, into perspective. And now I feel I am complete with that. And then after that, I'm sorry, this is so boring, I know. It's just hard to keep timelines. And anyway, what I've discovered now, or what I know, is here, is pure beingness. Or, and I don't want to say being, because that seems like a, as Rupert Spira would say, it's a finite thing, but it's the I am, or the beingness of I am. That's it. That's all that's here. It's like I can't think of anything else. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain this. Not that it wasn't here before, right? I mean, that's what you wake up to, the I amness of everything. But now it's like there's more clarity, like more of it. And what and so it's just I am. And then in meditation the other day, it's like the I am was talking to me. I don't know how to explain it. And it was like, yeah, I'm here. Beingness has landed, even though I don't feel like it's landed. It's, I've cleared away, and you open up fully to what's already here, right? And it was saying, like, okay, lots of healing to do. Take your time. There's no rush. But at the same time, there's okay, this is what I forgot to say. A couple years ago, I was like, oh yeah, and this word me, oh, that doesn't feel right. It feels so foreign. This is part of the process. All these people that are going through the awakening process and they think they're it and they're like, oh, there's no me here. That word doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I went through that. Totally went through it. And now there's a me here, but it's not a me, like a small I, separate. It's me, the I am. It's kind of, yeah, you get it. I don't need to explain it. And it feels whole. And I feel okay. Like it's just me. I know who I am now. I know who I am as a personality. Like I am enough with how I am and how I express how I am is expressing through this vehicle. Like it's like I've come into myself. Oh my God, I think that's it. I've I don't know, I fully have opened to obviously my true self and also my true little self. I know that sounds contradictory and it's probably not right, but um yeah. And now you're like being, and now, as it was saying, becoming. Now I get to become who I've always been and have been neglecting or overriding. And what will that look like? I don't know. Right. And so, like, the I am beingness was like, okay, healing's going to happen. Okay, great. And don't, and it was like, I'm trying to tell you, it's not necessary. In fact, I need the I. You can't live up here. It was like, I already know myself. I've already woken up to myself and I know myself. I am nothingness. I am everything. I am, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to know myself and wake up to myself and then create through you, through the I that I am, the I that you are. And, um, and so I need your individuality to create. I need that little bit of tension, that little bit of separation, the Lesha Vidya, little bit of I, in order for me being to create through you, to experience, not even create, but to experience life through you. And these little bits of separation are necessary. These little events, these little pokes, these little thorns are necessary, the necessary friction of the pearl to keep the evolution, the creative, the bringing down of new truths alive. And so, right? How beautiful is that? It needs us. And I know you know all this. None of this is new. It's just when it happens to you, when it becomes alive in you, it just, and you can't, I'm not very good at verbalizing, but I have to do this, I guess. Um, yeah. So I guess we'll see if this, yeah, there's lots of other videos I want to make about some ahas and this and that. But yeah, I am. That's all I have to say. And I'm okay with who I am. Um, yeah. Okay. I feel like I've butchered everything and And the crow in the background is telling me it's time to end this transmission. Um, anyway, I hope that made sense. And choose you, um, because the world needs you to choose you now. These are big collective things that we need to remove. Um, okay, I can't handle the crow in the background. You probably can't hear it, but I can. So, all right, until next time.